Hi, I'm pharmacist Kevin Hope, the Senior Director of Continuing Education and Compliance here at PharmCon. And we've used this outlet throughout the week to share tips from others about success and, quite frankly, getting through a single day during this pandemic. The amount of time required of pharmacists, of pharmacy technicians, and other healthcare providers is at an all-time high, and so are the stress levels. Despite the resources that are out there, we cannot under-recognize the fact, however, that some of our peers are at the stage of suicide, at being risk of taking their own lives. It's important then that we look not only to our patients, but cross-professionally to see that we're recognizing the signs and symptoms of suicidal behavior. Even before the COVID pandemic began, the National Institute of Health has long recognized that suicide rates are much higher, 2.5 times higher than the rates of the homicides that always get the media's attention. Pharmacists themselves are in this mix and in this data, being consistently ranking in the top 10 professions at risk for suicide. We cannot afford to underestimate this threat. While there haven't been a lot of studies looking at pharmacists specifically or pharmacy personnel specifically, there have been some studies among physicians. And some of the things that the researchers pointed out were things like assembly line medicine, rigorous scheduling demands, insurance company battles, changing regulations, continually evolving scientific literature that changes our need for practice, deep debt burdens, and constant fear of malpractice. These things sound a lot familiar to the pharmacy profession, and they should. And this should be a concerning factor for us. So we look to the experts to say, what do we do? And the first resource is to know what resources are out there. The National Suicide Hotline, 1-800-273-TALK, T-A-L-K, or 8255, is an important resource, not only for professionals who may be considering suicide as an option, but for colleagues, those who want to know, what should I do? What are the best steps to take next? The experts say the best things to do are to ask, are you thinking about suicide? Are you considering suicide as an option? And to ask directly. The experts say to be there, to offer what support you can, to not overstate what you can do, but to certainly give what you can, to keep them safe, whether that's providing immediate care for an immediate threat or providing options, keeping them safe, helping them connect, know what the resources are. What are the resources in your community that can see a patient who is struggling right away and not next fall sometime? Experts say to follow up. Let the person know that you care. I'm reminded of the story that is told about the drowning man. There was a man in the village center who was drowning in a lake, and people came out to him and they said, reaching into the water, reaching over the side of the pier, they were saying, give me your hand, give me your hand. The man continued to flail about, continued to drown, until another man came up. He leaned over the pier, he reached down and said, take my hand. The drowning man took the gentleman's hand and was pulled to safety. And everybody came around and said, we don't understand. We all tried to do this. What was different about your approach? And he said, you all were asking him of something. You were asking him to give them your hand. I offered him something. Take my hand. A drowning man is in no position to give you anything. Never hesitate to offer what you have. Thank you. Happy Pharmacist Week and stay safe, everyone.